Hello everyone, the Tribeca Games Spotlight is just about 6 minutes out. I think they're going to be spotlighting about 6 or 7 games. A little bit more of a focus. We'll probably be talking with devs. I think that the Critical Role, like voice acted, sing-songy game, that'll probably be them talking to the Critical Role folk. And then I don't know, last year they did like 6 or 7 games. We'll see what happens for this. Subathon's still going on. We got 2.5 hours ish and change till till that goes down or doesn't. We'll see. I'll turn off notifications though for this VOD. I believe Zeke and Co are joining us. Let's swap over to this and I will hop into Discord with them real quick. Yo. He'll unmute eventually. Maybe. You never really know. We'll see what happens. Do they have a list? Let's see. Tribeca Games Spotlight 2023. So they're covering oh, they're covering the Expanse, the Telltale game, Stray Gods, Goodbye Volcano High, a Highland Song, Despelote, Nightscape, and Chance of Sonar. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm some of those I've never heard of, some of those I have heard of. You thought Telltale went under? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. How long has the Tribeca show been a thing? 3 years, maybe? I feel like it's 3 years, maybe 2 years. The Tribeca Film Festival is generally what they are known for. And that's one of the bigger film festivals in the world. Kind of like indie, artsy, fartsy type shit. But yeah, generally they do some pretty cool stuff. It's very well produced. So you can expect a good production. How long is it? I think it's about 45 minutes if I was reading correctly. Let's see. Doesn't say actually. I wouldn't expect more than an hour though. This is the only thing I believe here on Friday. Tomorrow's a very busy day.
What is...
Got a bunch of stuff happening tomorrow. So, goes here. It's on Game Awards is what I'm watching on.
Game Awards. The Game Awards. Is it just Game Awards or The Game Awards?
The Game Awards.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Great timing.
Yeah, it's been this song for 15 minutes. After this on stream chat, we're probably going to be jumping into some Street Fighter. I owe a little bit of Street Fighter due to the Thon wheel rolls. So, Co, what are you playing tonight on your cozy stream?
Liza P demo.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna see if you're playing Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, no. I'll probably return to that at some point, but I want to try Liza P and the Wizards with Guns. I think.
Oh, that got a demo as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, fellas.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Just watching the Trump Biden AI shit.
Oh God.
God, man, that shit is fucking funny sometimes.
Are you restreaming it?
Yeah, in their stream title it says restreams okay.
Oh,
Restreams and react videos okay.
gotcha.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it otherwise, but yeah.
Are you covering everything tomorrow? Just a few shows? It should be Future of Play
So,
Direct,
do you guys know like this is like
Wholesome Direct, Future Game Show, and then OTK Games Expo.
It is. I think that's
Okay.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, I muted right when you said that. What did you say it is?
Artsy fartsy showcase.
It's they've already said it's 7 games. They spent a little bit more time with the games they're going to show. Telltale Expanse
Okay.
is in here.
The city is back. And
Stray Gods.
It's exciting.
Volcano
It's a
High,
fantastic film festival that
Highland
really gets
Song,
the soul
Despelot.
and the heart of
Night
Now, what are
Escape.
they like? They're not a publisher or anything, right?
No, Tribeca's a film festival.
It's about
Yeah.
the
Right.
vibrance of the culture of New York, and we pull it
So
all
they just pick
together
out
in
games that they
film,
like and say, "These are the games we like."
experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We share our narratives now differently.
There are so many more.
Oh, I gotta
things
change
that
my name.
games can be.
You should, yeah.
Ever
Carnage
since I was
is
a
bad.
kid, I would play video games 24/7.
Yeah.
Every time I wanted to relax, every time I wanted to.
I'm
step
thinking
out of the world for a bit.
You know, some people might say, well, go
Big
read a book.
Balls
I'm like, I
with
don't wanna
2
read a book.
Z's.
I want to be.
You know?
I like it.
in an
Big Balls
interactive
420.
adventure.
Yeah.
I want to feel like I'm part of the story.
What do you change your name for?
And my game is Despelot.
No, I meant my title.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Volcano.
But I mean, I should probably change my name too.
Stray Gods?
A Highland Song.
Chance of Sinner.
Nightscape.
The Expanse.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to Tribeca Games.
Doo-ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-doo.
I must have climbed the hill behind the house.
Are you guys watching on
100 times.
YouTube? Yeah.
I'm watching on Game Awards
I
on
know
Twitch.
every stone.
Okay.
This game's
But
cool
after
looking.
that hill, there's another. And then another again.
No kidding.
And after all that, then that's the sea. And I've
Well,
never
because she's
been there.
European, so she has to tell Americans geography.
A narrative adventure game set in the wilds of the
I
Scottish
learned a
Highlands.
lot there.
You play as Moira McKinnon.
Wow,
a
that
teenager
guy's.
on her way
He
to
sounds
sea
like
for
he's
the
right
first
behind
time.
me.
I know. I
To
heard
get
that
there,
happened to
you're
me
gonna have
too.
Find your way through the wild mountains and the valleys. You'll have to survive the weather, and you'll learn a bit about the stories and the history of the Highlands on the way.
As long as there's no knocking.
Inkle is an independent game studio based in the UK, and we specialise in narrative games. So we make games in all sorts of genres, but our main focus is on games that tell really strong stories.
Our most famous game is probably 80 Days.
Oh, I played Overboard.
An
I
adaptation
think.
of Jules Verne's classic novel.
The main hook of 80 Days is that you can go around the world any way you like. The way that Highland Song works is extremely similar to 80 Days. You start in one particular point and you can choose all sorts of different routes through the Highlands in order to reach your goal. But it also ends at a single point because you're trying to reach the lighthouse where your Uncle Hamish lives by the sea.
Finding the right gameplay for a game like a Highland Song can be really difficult. Gameplay is usually built around loops and patterns, but good narratives aren't made out of loops. We want to make sure that the character isn't doing anything just for the sake of gameplay, but everything the character's doing has to make sense within the narrative.
So the reason that we've essentially created our very first platforming game is that it just makes sense for the character within this scenario to be jumping and scrambling over rocks. and it even has a rhythm action mechanic. So in many ways, it's the most gamey game that we've ever created.
Moira's platforming abilities in
It's
Highland
the most
Song are quite
gamey
realistic.
game.
She has a limited amount of time that she can climb. She gets hurt if she falls too far.
Oh
She
my
can
god,
rest
it's like
to
Gollum.
recover her strength.
They just,
She gets
it's
affected by
iterative
weather,
design
and
on
affected by
Gollum.
nighttime and affected by cold. A lot of our mechanics are built around the tension between knowing where you are and being lost. We have a map mechanic, which is all about that. It's about finding little pockets of knowledge, learning the names of peaks and understanding the history of the peaks to help you find your way through this world.
At Inkle, we've always loved hand-drawn 2D illustration.
Wait.
We love how expressive it can be.
The company's name is
characters.
Tinkle?
Even when we made 3D games, we still had 2D characters because we loved the overall effect. I grew up in Scotland. When I was a teenager, I went up into the Scottish Highlands with 3 friends and we got lost and we had to stumble through rivers and bogs. It was
And my
really
2
quite
friends
a
died,
chilling,
so we
scary
made a game about it.
experience. My parents
Are the other 2 muted?
historians,
I don't know,
and
I'm
there
muted
was
to them
always
so I don't
one
interrupt their
painting
broadcast.
In particular that they had that I used to love as a
Do they have
child.
subtitles?
It had a little ruined castle by a loch and these Scots pine trees and this golden brown colour palette that was just so characteristic of the region. And so going
It's only
for
a model.
really painterly aesthetic was a way to capture that. The more modern take on that is the digital paintings of concept artists such as Paul Scott Canavan, who we worked with on this project. And he came up with this really beautiful way of hand painting rocks and trees and grass and then assembling them as a huge collage, but then all built up so that the overall effect is of a painting coming to life.
When people play a Highland Song, I really want them to come away with a strong sense of the
Actually,
place,
weirdest mic I've
the
ever heard.
Highlands themselves. There's this
Yeah, I don't know how
Sounds like
really-
it sounds like he's
between
behind me,
being full of
like slightly to
story
the left.
and history.
I wonder if
and
it's like a
marks left
room
behind by
mic
people,
or something
whether
that he
that's
has
ruined
positioned.
farmhouses.
He's got his
or
mic
whether
backwards,
that's just
somebody
the
said.
names attached to the various
Yeah, it
peaks and
actually
the
does
story
sound like it's a
behind those
Yeti
things,
that's facing the
which often
opposite
go back a very,
direction.
very long
Yeah,
way.
kind of.
When I first kind of conceived of the game, I tried to forget everything about what games we'd made as a studio before, what games are out there, and I just tried to imagine what do I want on
The
my
fact
Switch
that
for
guy's
me to
2
play
monitor
right
speakers
now.
are not
And pretty much
on the
a
same
Highland
level as
Song,
bothering.
as the way it looks and feels popped into my head, and I can't be prouder of what we've created.
That was a pleasant game, I guess.
Yeah, this game Co's really excited for.
Oh, this is the furry Rockstar
is a game
Apocalypse
studio,
Yeah.
that's
Angst
based
game, right?
originally in
Yep.
Montreal, but is now remote and worldwide. It is a cooperative.
Furry Life is
Basically,
Strange,
that
that's
means
right.
that we make
I think it's
all major
Scalies.
decisions together.
Not
we
furries.
decide whether we want to work.
Oh, Scalies?
4
Hey,
days
look,
or
Inky's
5 days.
moomin'
I'm
in the
still
background.
learning my
We
terminology.
decided to do 4 days. A long
What's
time ago.
Moomin
We
again?
present concepts when we
It's
are
a
starting to put together.
children's
And
like
we all
cartoon
think
thing, like in
everybody would
Finland.
like to work
Okay.
on.
And you feel more attached to what you're making because you
I'll have to fix
voted
that later.
for it, you chose it.
It was really important for us to feel like this was a different space where people actually could be the voices behind the games that we make.
We are the makers of some charming, fun games like Winding Worlds and Nog and the upcoming Goodbye Volcano High.
Goodbye Volcano High is a cinematic visual novel about dinosaurs in their final year of high school. At the start of the year, they
okay.
find out that a meteor is coming. And the game is about asking yourself, what would you do if you had 1 year left? Who would you be? Who would you want to love? And how would you want to go out?
Who
I
would
vote
you
yes.
want to love?
I don't think this is a voting type situation.
I mean, it does kind of belong to all of us. Or it was supposed to.
It does. You did a great job.
So,
What do you say, Fang?
We chose dinosaurs for Goodbye Volcano High for a couple of reasons.
Originally, when we presented
One,
the game to everybody else, it was
really am a
meant to
scaly.
be, a dating sim, because like at the time, this was kind of like the hot thing to work on was dating sims. And then we were like, hold up, here's the hook. It's a dating sim with dinosaurs at the end of the world. As soon as you start talking about
He
it,
was so
you
excited
go,
about that. Look at his
"Hooray,
face. I love this guy.
Thank you.
He knows what he likes.
And that was really important to us
Gonna
because
follow
we
me
wanted
home.
to make something
I
that
know.
could tap
Okay.
into the anxiety of our
It's really
current
cute.
times.
He looks young.
And dinosaurs was a really
Oh my
great
God.
way to create that metaphor instantly.
As it went on and we became kind of more ambitious and more interested in making what we actually like, we were like, what if it's an anime and we tell a story that isn't necessarily so focused on dating, but really goes deep into the emotional aspects of the end of the world.
So high school already feels like it's the end of the world to most people, so it wasn't really that hard to hone in on the teen angst. It's really the hope that's tricky to encapsulate.
High school to me is all about that sweet, sweet balance of doom and hope.
Hope for the better future, hope for the
Did
dreams
everyone
you chase
always
and the
says that
ambitions
about
you
high
strive
school?
for.
But I
Those are
never.
things that can feel
I guess I
impossible to
was
cling
lucky.
to, especially
Like
when
high
something
school
that
was
can't be
pretty
stopped
fine.
and feels inevitable, like a giant
I don't
meteor
really have
hitting
like
you.
any
Communities all across the continent reacted to
bad
the news of
vibes
a
about it. It's just
previously
kind of like, yeah, I
unknown
gotta
space
do
object
this.
morning.
I'm gonna play some World of
So,
Warcraft and
How do you
Quake.
deal with that?
It starts off very joking. They're kind of making
But everyone's
valid
experience is
humor
different, and I
jokes.
could totally
In light of the whole
understand
space rock potential demise of civilization thing,
if it
until
was
something
bad.
feels off.
What's the theme?
Using this year to make an impact.
Our characters all have different methods of coping. Some double down on their ambitions, determined to accomplish their dreams before it's too late. Others slow down and decide to savor what time they have left, regardless of what their dreams are.
We can still win Battle of the Bands, asteroid or not.
The player character essentially ends
That
up
mic was pretty
being
terrible.
the UI, and you end up playing as Fang's inner monologue.
Steve Derrick.
I think this means she's rooting for us?
Music is
back
really
to
important
proved.
to Goodbye Volcano High, and
Hey,
I would actually say
I-
music is
I
really
would
important
never-
to our studio in all of our games.
I would not
It's
try to yuck
core to our
anyone's yum.
DNA, and
But
music
this is
central to the
so
identity of
far
the
off
people
of my
who make
normal
the game,
thing.
and so it's central
It's
to
like
the
on the
identity
other
of the
side
game
of the
itself
planet
and
that
the
is my
art
thing.
that it-
Yeah.
There's
If
no
it was
performance
just
in this
dinosaurs,
game.
dinosaur anthropomorphic people playing guitars and like in a band and shit, it'd be like Josie and the Pussycats. That's cool. But like, you know, they put like a deep story and emotions and stuff in it. That's where it kind of loses me. Like this part would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm a furry, not a scaly chat. You got to get it right. It's a very important distinction.
What type of dinosaur had like angelic wings like that?
Fang is kind of
Archaeopteryx.
gearing up for their future as a musician.
I figured you would know.
And then realizing that they
Paleontology is your side hobby.
So those two.
It was my
I think it might be.
kind of
I think it might be because he has kids, and kids are like, you know, they'll read dinosaur books and come up and tell you dinosaur facts and shit.
Yep.
Like, Dad, did you know? But the wingspan
They
of the
actually do that. Like
pterodactyl is huge.
100% they do that.
I think every
Yeah.
person hopes that they get to be near people they love and who understand them and that love them.
Those are things people can grasp no matter how much time they have left.
I think that this game really encourages people to be brave, to do the brave thing, and love each other and be there for each other, even when it's scary, even when you don't know what's going to happen.
What is this?
Bonjour, je suis Julien.
Bonjour, je suis Thomas.
Nous sommes les cofondateurs de Rundisk et nous sommes ici pour vous parler de Chance of Scénar.
There you go. Chance of Sonar.
Avec Chant of Scénar, nous avons voulu proposer une aventure originale basée sur le mythe de Babel.
On a essayé de vous plonger dans la peau d'un voyageur qui débarquerait dans un pays complètement inconnu.
Tout au long de son ascension, le joueur va rencontrer 5 peuples différents. Chaque peuple a ses propres coutumes, sa propre histoire et évidemment sa propre langue.
Comme chacun de ces peuples parle des langues différentes, ça fait des siècles qu'ils ne se comprennent plus. Une partie du jeu et de l'aventure va consister à comprendre les raisons de cette division et peut-être essayer de rétablir l'harmonie.
I'm so torn between reading the subtitles and watching what's going on. I want to watch.
Quand on a compris qu'on voulait travailler sur les langues, on a eu cette idée de s'inspirer de la tour de Babel, parce que c'est un mythe qui est très puissant, qui parle des hommes qui essayaient d'atteindre le ciel en construisant une gigantesque tour. Et c'est un des plus hauts dieux qui ont décidé de frapper une malédiction, en leur faisant tous parler une langue différente.
Oh, I am.
Ce qui est important et original dans le jeu, c'est que les langues sont des puzzles en soi. Pour nous, un mot c'est pareil qu'un levier, une porte, une clé. On comprend des langues en résolvant des puzzles, et résoudre des puzzles nous permet de comprendre des langues.
Chant of Sonar est avant tout un jeu d'aventure. Au-delà de l'aspect puzzle, le joueur devra explorer l'environnement, interagir avec différents personnages et participer à des scènes d'action.
I've noticed for games and animated stuff, I don't mind so much, but for if it's like real life shit, like I can't do it. Like I tried Squid Game and that sumo show, Sanctuary, dubbed, and it's just ridiculous.
Il va s'en sortir, il va trouver des clés autrement par la violence. C'est important pour nous de montrer ça, puisque quelque part, ce qu'on essaie.
Yeah, I can't watch the show and not like be immersed, or I can't watch show and be immersed if it's dubbed.
Oh.
If it's real.
You can pet the cat.
Les inspirations artistiques du jeu, elles se trouvent principalement dans la bande dessinée européenne des années 70-80, puis plus tard, on a élargi les inspirations du jeu, on a convoqué le brutalisme, l'architecture mauresque, l'architecture indienne, et c'est ce qui nous a permis de créer ce monde un peu plus réel.
Chant of Sonar est une invitation au voyage, à la tolérance et à l'ouverture sur les autres.
D'ordinaire, les langues étrangères sont vues comme un frein. C'est d'ailleurs pour ça qu'on parle de barrière de la langue. Mais dans Chants of Sonar, ce contexte est voué à être dépassé, puisque les langues y sont à la fois l'obstacle et la solution. On espère que vous aurez du plaisir à découvrir la tour, à résoudre ses mystères et à nous aider à réunifier ces peuples.
Et évidemment, nous avons hâte d'avoir vos retours.
Interesting.
Nightscape is a 2.5D atmospheric adventure game where the ancient Arabian night sky loses its light.
You play as Layla, who is an astronomer who just loves to look at the night sky.
As Layla, players wield the
cricket in my
magical
room?
astrolabe, restoring stars
The
back
hell?
to constellations in order to seek a path home. A key stellar cast member is the Goat Kid constellation. The Goat Kid decides to accompany Layla in her journey.
These days, people do not know much about constellations and the stories behind them, especially Arabic constellations.
They're different from the Western or the Greek constellations. And so we've had a big research task finding out what those constellations mean, what the backstories are, and finding out how we can turn those ideas into gameplay elements.
I think the Goat Kid is redundant, isn't it? Isn't it?
Goat Kid would mean a baby goat.
Layla.
No, I know. But like,
Constellations
a kid is a baby goat, so you just say the kid.
And help with Layla.
Well, but I mean, kid has lots of meanings on
The
its
game
own.
being 2.5D, you can actually.
It'd be kind of
walk
weird
into
if they
the
just
screen.
called it the
There's a
kid when it
lot
was a
there
goat,
that
right?
allow
Because then you'd be
them
like,
to
it's
make
not a
it
normal
very
kid. What's
cinematic.
going on here?
No, I'm with Dr. Claw. How about a kid? How about calling it
This
the
is a
kid
brand
kid?
new experience for me, building a team
fair.
from the ground up. We found
Do you call
amazing
it
level
goat's
designer in
milk
Nabil
or
and
goat milk?
coder in Idris, and very recently we found our technical artist in Zaki. And
Goat milk.
I've always said
both are the
goat
powerhouse of the
without the
studio.
possessive.
And
I'm glad that you
I
guys
think
are
it's
smart
really genuinely
individuals.
amazing that we found those guys who are willing to work with us in.
Because it's not the goat's
I
milk;
was
it's
very
my
unsure
milk
about
that I
the
got
amount
from
of
the goat.
talent for making video games in the Middle East.
The
Well,
type
it's
of
also
milk.
it's also goat milk
So-
because it's not
finding the
from
team
one
that we
goat.
So is it
For me,
Zeke milk or
it all
Zeke's milk?
starts with a story and pictures.
That would be Zeke's
that
milk because
triggers
it's
Zeke's
from
milk.
my
just Zeke.
imagination.
I have nipples, Co. Could you milk me?
Triggered immediately some
Yeah,
music
and
in
Zeke's
my
milk
mouth.
would come out.
Beautiful
I was
Middle
waiting-
Eastern melodies
waiting
to
for
take them in, the maqams, to combine them with harmonies, Western influences as well, that it comes together as a blend.
In my mind, designing sound is a bit like playing with clay, like trying to model this clay, this sound, manipulate, edit, cut. For example, the hook shot is mostly made by a tree branch, the footstep of a scorpion walking. which is a mix of knife and stone. The voice of a scorpion is my voice, actually. And then overly processed. When the scorpion died, attack, that's my voice.
We're trying really hard to make the game feel magical, particularly the parts where the player is trying to figure out the puzzles.
Being in a country like the Philippines where my hometown had about zero pollution, so looking at the stars was one of my hobbies, which is why Nightscape appealed to me a lot.
Have you ever been anywhere like that?
People in
that
the Mino
that guy was describing, like with zero pollution or whatever.
Yeah, very sparse amount of content
Being from Montana and like you drive through Wyoming quite a bit to get places, and like
meaningful games with the
a lot of Wyoming is like that. There's zero light pollution or any other pollution.
Yeah,
and the stars, it's just crazy how many more stars you see.
And ultimately build a bridge towards understanding the Middle East better.
Uh-oh, sing-songy time.
I need a cinnamon roll.
That's how I deal with my feelings.
Yep.
Everything I've learned wasted on a girl who doesn't know how to be free.
I wonder if you can stream this, if it's all going to be like DMCA.
I was absolutely convinced that we can only be this and this only until someone comes along and proves them wrong.
Wait, is that Kyle Gass from Tenacious D?
No, musical where you control the song. You play as Grace, a college dropout who's not quite sure what to do with her life.
A woman living in the modern world who encounters the last of the Greek muses.
Calliope?
Who dies in her arms, passes on her powers, and Grace discovers that the Greek gods are alive and well and hidden in the modern world.
We think that Stray Gods kind of appeals beyond just fans of video games. It's a really unique story and a unique experience.
There are so many elements that go into this game to make it special that you can attach to any one of them and have an incredible experience.
Stray Gods is what we call a role-playing musical. It's not really a genre that's ever existed before.
You say you didn't kill Calliope. You have 1 week to prove it. What do I do?
Start singing.
This is a game with branching musical numbers where the key decisions in the story are made in musical numbers that change depending on your choices.
Lost girls, lost girls.
The way that we tackle music is one that people have never seen before.
Boarding multiple branching paths that should link up to each other. There's a lot of considerations to factor in.
It's very complicated, but it feels very worth it in the end.
Perfectly fine on her own.
We got to work with some of the best, the most talented voice actors in the world, the most talented people on Broadway. Like, what more could you ask for, really?
Being able to work with some champions like Austin Wintory, David Gator, Troy Baker has been nuts.
At the end of the day, it came down to our composer, Austin.
Oh, this has like
dark magic.
all
and
the
get
big
it all
names.
back, and you're like, don't know how you transformed that take into this, but it's absolutely amazing.
I hate so much that since now that kerfluffle, the first thing I thought of is Troy coming in and be like, yeah, the music is great, but what about NFT?
Every single character in the game has the potential to be a favorite.
My favorite character is Eros.
I really
It honestly reminds me of that old joke. It's like, see that bridge over there? Do they call me Joe the Bridge Builder?
My favorite character.
But you fuck one goat.
I think Orpheus. My king Orpheus.
It's like he
He's
did
my
that
favorite.
NFT thing for
He
like
used
a
to be
hot
enemy,
second,
but
and
Orpheus,
no one
he
will
was
let him
king.
live it down.
Look at me. Who do you think I am? I'm saying Medusa. I am the #1 Medusa fan in the office.
I thought you were saying the juicer, and I was like, oh, XQC is huge
Freddy.
now, I guess.
But my
Oh,
favorite.
oh,
I reckon my
God, no.
favorite character is Freddy.
I'm really going to go against the grain here. My favorite character is Freddy.
Everybody's gonna say Freddy, so I thought I'd say someone else as well.
But my favorite. Oh, yeah, I'll say Freddy. But Medusa and Calliope. 100%. Like, it's really hard. Sorry.
There is a level of belief in the studio in the themes in this game and the stories that it's trying to tell and the people it's trying to involve and the people it's trying to talk to that I haven't seen on a lot of the games that I've worked on in my career.
We've assembled this superstar group of people. It is a Voltron of game development.
Early on, Liam made a conscious effort to make sure that everyone that we hired culturally fit, but also had a conscious effort to make sure that we weren't hiring the same kind of people.
Every single person who came onto this project brought something wholly and uniquely theirs.
It's one thing to be able to hire to have diverse voices. It's also another thing to make sure that those voices are heard. It's just important for us.
Can we submit this game for community vote
feel safe enough to share their opinion, and two, diverse enough that many opinions are
I
shared.
don't know if you'll enjoy me playing it.
No, this
could.
development crew is all boning each other for
And I
sure.
really
This is like my old theater group. Everybody was up each other.
Very soon, the idols will be no more.
Ooh, the Expanse, nice.
Here we go. This looks like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
The Expanse is an exceptional intellectual property in that it's huge, and that
Stephen
the
Frost,
characters
where do we know that
are
name
the
from?
forefront of what they are focusing on.
What is so compelling
He
about
was
it
the
is that it
bad
works
guy in the
in
first
several
Blade
different
film.
mediums, right? I mean, we begin with the books.
Are you just making stuff up at this point?
No, it's
Special about
close.
The television show was that it was almost like
Wild
just a
Star.
of looking in at the same.
Is that what it
story.
is?
So what's unique about the way that we tell stories is that we give our players agency over the character they're playing, which
I think he's his half brother.
shape the overall
Deacon
story,
Frost's
so
half
they're
brother.
actually living
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
story
it
as opposed
is.
to just following along with it.
When you're adapting a television property into a video game property, you
Oh,
have to
wow.
think about what the fan
Where my
is
Beltaloda's
expecting
at?
when they're coming into. This takes
Beltaloda.
place years before the first season. We're getting to see the world through Kamina
Oh.
Drummer's eyes. She is a belter, somebody who's out
Drummer.
in deep space and has grown up there, has never set foot on a planet. So her perspective is really different.
It's hard for me to look at these moons without thinking about the Earther research colonies exploiting all the resources on them and giving nothing to the belt.
I hoped to portray her, especially at the beginning of the video game, as a little bit more vulnerable and open, and just see.
You
the
never heard
events
her
that
talk before?
Cause her to
I never have.
No.
Bossing everyone around.
I thought she'd be
Only this
British.
time, no doors to keep
I
you on
definitely
leash,
did.
yeah?
For some reason, I definitely thought she was British. That's wild. Boom. Yeah, get him.
A really awesome character like Drummer deserves to have really interesting situations to be put in that fans.
I'm
have
definitely
come to
planning on
expect
playing
from
this,
the
yeah.
show,
Yeah.
And now it's like they're getting to play an episode of The Expanse, but in video game form. We can do things like put zero G in the game, but we have to think about it from what's a good interaction medium, and changing that from what you may have seen in the show slightly to make sure that it's something that
Allosaura, they said that this
and
takes
that
place
feels
before
good
the
on the
TV
sticks,
series
but that
does.
is
So
also
if anything, you could
representative
play
of what
this
you've seen
first
in
and
the
then
show.
watch the series.
Those characters have really complex issues that they're facing regularly. And in narrative games, we want to give players these gray areas to really
One
think,
sec, guys.
is this the answer I want
Trying to
to
get
choose,
snapped?
or do I want to choose this answer? And that they both have their upsides and their downsides. And so the Expanse is perfect for that.
Drummer, his suit is punctured and losing pressure. You need to release the vault and patch him now or he could die.
Belay that. That vault has O2, fuel, armaments. We can't afford to lose it.
It was a really interesting challenge to,
Oh, I
to
definitely
come at
cut
the
the
same
leg off.
character in a completely different medium.
Deck 9 is a video game studio. We are known for our narrative, our characters, and our motion capture technology.
It's a completely blank white room. You've got some tape on the floor, maybe a few things made out of wire to show where a door frame might be or something like that, but otherwise it's pure imagination.
I assume you didn't come here to talk about crystals.
We have a new target.
What is it this time, El Dorado? The Fountain of Youth? Let me guess. The Falcon Horde of Venus?
The UNN Urshanabi. Cap believes there's something valuable on board.
Something that we are really excited for people to experience in the Expanse of Telltale series is the emotional performance that we're getting from our actors that comes through with our technology and from our animators that really bring out the personality in these characters.
I work for you, but you don't own me.
Believe me, I'm well aware.
Just want to make sure you're not having second thoughts about our deal.
Oh, come on. We're equal partners. We pay the crew, the costs, and the overhead.
The rest is 50-50. You and me.
I mean, that's the joy and the beauty of a job like this, is that I get to play.
We're hoping that you
Got a
form these
croissant.
bonds with these characters and that they are something that you carry with you after you're done
What?
playing
Did
the
you
game.
say you
You're
got a
thinking about it later.
croissant?
That, to me, is always
I
a
did.
testament of,
Oh.
of good storytelling is, am I
It's
thinking
buttery and
about
flaky
it
and delicious.
long after I experienced the game
I
itself?
haven't had a croissant in a while.
Mm. So
Does
good,
it have
dude.
anything in it or just like a normal
Yeah,
croissant?
joy and good vibes.
No chocolate or anything?
Doesn't need it.
Is this Coke Media rebranded? No, they're showing gameplay on this. So
Yeah,
no,
that's
it's not.
Julian
This is
Cordero,
always well
and I'm the
produced.
lead developer and programmer in Despelote.
And
Despelote is a
slices
game
of
about
life,
soccer,
apparently.
And it's a slice of life adventure game set in 2001.
What the fuck?
When Ecuador
Speak of the
was
devil.
really close to qualifying to the World Cup for the first time. Everybody was incredibly excited about this moment, and you see it through the eyes of an 8-year-old kid kicking a ball around with your friends in the park.
¿Vamos a jugar?
When I was growing up, I played a lot of soccer. In Ecuador, the culture of soccer is very
feel
big.
like-
And if you're a boy and you're not playing soccer, it's like hard
My
to make friends.
dumb
A lot of,
human
like,
brain
my
just saw that
best friends
gameplay
I
and
made
thought they were playing
through
Odd Job
playing
and
soccer.
GoldenEye.
But then when I moved to the US, I wasn't really watching or playing soccer for a few years. That sort of made me like take a step back from it. I sort of like realized this, and I was like, oh, like this had such a big role in my life. I wanted to make this game to sort of like figure out what it was that was really interesting about soccer growing up. When I started making the game, the first thing I focused on was this like relationship with the ball and like making the ball like this physical object that you're kicking around. More than like creating like a soccer match, I knew that I wanted to just like your relationship with the ball and like how that sort of then relates to your environment. Immediately was thinking, okay,
Have they
what
said
should
the
it
name
look
of the
like?
game yet?
And
I'm
there was
good.
this artist and
Despote,
musician,
I think
Sebastian.
is what
I
they
really
said.
liked his work.
My name is Sebastián Balbuena, and I am in charge of the art in Despelote. That
Oh,
includes
Despelote.
the animation, 3D modeling, and also the music. This is actually the first video game I have ever worked in.
I knew the game was going to be in 3D because I wanted the game to be like feel very physical and this like the physical connection with the ball.
We wanted to find a graphic style that could communicate emotions, and we found that the 2D hand-drawn
Not
animation
Despacito.
was the best way to do that.
Alexa,
Not Desperado.
play
Developed, like, the art style sort
Despacito.
of around like his previous work and his style. Sort of
Is that a
feels
real
very
person?
nostalgic to us to have these like backgrounds with this like very grainy aesthetic. That was just very important to have that dynamic.
Kinda looks
the
it, yeah.
background
Whoa,
being so
look at
noisy,
the dog.
the characters being so
Everyone moves so
like
fast.
hand-drawn and like so clean. As soon as like I was like, okay, well, what's the setting for this game? Like the only really idea I had was like where I have played soccer in my life, which is in Quito. That's where the game sort of had to be set. It became
Yeah,
really
this game is
important
not
for us to, like,
streaming friendly
capture
at all.
in a way that was like
Yeah,
very
dude.
new to us. So we're using a lot of pictures, and the buildings are all real buildings.
Some of the voices are from people that we knew. We wanted to have the same feeling that you get when you listen to people's conversation in the street. So that's why we went with the improvisation for the dialogue.
It's all improvised, really. We like approached a lot of friends and family in Ecuador. The parents are played by my own parents, so there's an interesting dynamic happening there as you run around as a kid. The scene we set is it's 2001. Ecuador is just coming out of this big economic crisis, and there's this idea we can qualify to the World Cup, and that's like really exciting. And it's been great because I think it's bringing in a lot of this like sort of communal understanding of the moment. So my parents aren't really big soccer people, but the excitement of qualifying to the World Cup was so big that even they were really excited about it.
Oiga, ya está jugando el Ecuador, vamos a ver. Todo el mundo está hablando de que este sí hay chance.
capturing this moment in time was important because I think for my generation, the first time we qualified to the World Cup, it sort of meant like, oh, Ecuador is a tiny little country, but all of a sudden we were like in the world stage and we were like playing against Italy and like we were like in
What's the name of this game? Despacito.
That felt like a really big thing. Pelota in Spanish means ball, and despelote is sort of a saying that people have. Is like esto está hecho un despelote, is like this is a mess. So it's sort of like a play on words, like ball and like mess. We're growing up with this idea of si se puede, which is what the people chant to the soccer team, which means, yeah, we can do it. Si se puede and si se pudo, like we can do it and we already did it. Like that's not something my parents were able to like grow up with. People like grasp onto it so much, and I think it like really gave a lot of people so much hope. And I think for me, like that being like one of my earliest memories, it sort of made me grow up thinking like, oh yeah, like yes, we can. I hope that people really enjoy just running around in Quito. I think we've built it in a way that is
could have also gone with
based on
Roy
a lot
Kent.
of our memories.
I was gonna say Jamie Tart.
Jamie
I was gonna
Tart
say Michael
works.
Jordan,
Directly
but
one-to-one, it's more of like a fuzzy memory.
That also
And
works.
I hope that feels very like transportive for people, and they can experience what this moment in time in Ecuador was.
For me, it was a
and
mix,
how I felt through
a
that
toss-up
time.
between Michael Jordan or Elton John.
Both famous footballers.
Football is life.
Yep, I think that's it.
Okay.
Oh wait,
Short
that's
and sweet.
everything?
Yep. If you live in New York, you can go play demos.
Oh.
Oh, 47 did work on that.
Dang. Okay. All right. We're good.
That's the old Tribeca film. That's it for today, too. There's not much else
So,
today.
Yeah. Tomorrow we start with Future of Play Direct at 11.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Wholesome Direct at 12.
Yep.
Future Games Show at 1.
Yep.
OTK at 2.
Yep. That's it.
I think
Those
that's
four.
it.
Yeah.
We got like a 11 to 3 tomorrow.
Is the OTK Games Expo only an hour?
Oh, I mean maybe longer.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought the Future Games Show usually lasts more than an hour too, but
Yeah. I wonder if the future of play will lead into the Wholesome Direct. I think it usually does. Wasn't the OTK thing like 2.5 hours last year?
Yeah, it was
I don't know.
pretty
That-
long.
I mean, it's a great time for it at the end of the day.
Yeah,
or at the
yeah.
end of the lineup. So
Right. Well, cool. We'll see you guys tomorrow then, bright and early.
yeah, for sure. I will
right.
see you guys in a little bit. And yeah, thanks for the fun. See you guys tomorrow.
See ya. Nice and easy. Thanks for watching the Tribeca Game Festival. Will I play any of those games? Maybe Telltale. Everything else, yeah, it might be too indie for me. So that's that. Hit the subscribe button. The subathon continues. Or maybe it dies today. I don't know. We'll see.